introduce myself a little bit. I started with FarmLink a couple of months ago. I'm actually a farmer as well. I have a small flower farm in Petaluma, and I came to FarmLink as a farmer, looking for help from them. And then it just sort of turned into this position. And I'm also a journalist. I cover food and agriculture issues. I'm a freelance journalist right now. So let's see, where should I start? I guess just to kind of, I'll give you some bullet points about FarmLink, FarmLink's loans. So actually, let me back up and just tell you, I think most of you know, but what FarmLink does mainly is help beginning farmers with 2 or more years experience, which I think most of you probably have if you're in this program or approaching that. We help you find access to land and access to capital. We have a land linking program that I think I've talked to some of you about. We can help you negotiate leases. We can help you with business planning basics, but also direct you to professionals in the business planning arena. And then we have a loan program, which is fairly new. I think it's about a year old or so. And what kind of distinguishes our loan program is that we really try to help farmers out who might not be totally ready for other kinds of loans that people here are probably going to talk. Well, slow money is an exception, but some of the more traditional kinds of loans. One of the main things we do is we help people who don't fit into the traditional boxes of farming. So if you're more direct market based, that's something you should come to us. And the other thing is that we only do loans that are $5,000 to $100,000. So that kind of rules out land loans. We do yearly seasonal operating loans, and we do multi-year infrastructure and equipment loans. So I can give you a couple of examples of different farms that have gotten our loans, but before I do that, I'll just, okay, nuts and bolts about the loans. 7% interest fee, which is pretty low. 2% loan fee, which is just sort of a processing fee, and there's no application fee. And we also really try to work individually with people. Like I said, if you're not a traditional farmer, large-scale farmer, we really try to help you find a loan that works for you. And if it doesn't work through FarmLink, we have some good relationships with other lenders, and we can help you kind of figure out which lender might be the best match for you. We can also help you find alternative financing sources like slow money, and kind of guide you to the local chapters, and help you through like the Kickstarter, Indiegogo, all of those alternative financing things. Basically, we just want to help you as much as we can. We're really about getting more small farmers to have successful businesses. So obviously loans and funding is a key part of that. And the other little fact is that in trying to kind of be more user-friendly, we can help you get access to the money between 2 to 6 weeks is usually how long it takes, which I've heard is a pretty good amount of time. So it's not immediate, but it can be shorter than some other options. So let's see what else.
I'm happy to put the website up as well.
Oh,
is
sure.
there anything you'd like to point out on the website? I know it's in transition.
It is in transition. Yeah, our website, I don't know how many of you guys have been there, been to it before. I think you're all members of FarmLink. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's a little embarrassing. We're revamping this, making it a lot more user-friendly. But the main things to look at are the land opportunities there. If you click on that and scroll down to the bottom, and we kind of directing people through this beginning farmer intake form, which probably most of you have filled out. If you haven't, you should go ahead and do that. And when you click on, scroll down to the bottom again, and then click on that again. Yep. And then you can, we have a lot of listings, and we have 3 different regions that we cover. So you can narrow it by region. You can narrow it if you're looking for land for lease. into either of those boxes. So I don't know, you can go to search those things. This is a side note from the loan part, but and then if you want to look at Sonoma County, for example, and go to cash rent lease. That's mainly what we have, and then submit. So then this just kind of gives you an example of some of the things we have. And you can click on each one of those and find out more information. I don't know how many people are actually looking for land.
Well, hold on. So
Yeah.
you actually, you said primarily you're serving small farmers to access land or cash, but apparently you're also, or are you not, serving landowners who are looking not to use their land but to make it available to.
That's correct.
So you,
Yeah.
in your dealings, do you represent one or do you broker with no particular interest toward one or the other? What's your position
You know,
there?
I think officially we would say we are a liaison between landowners and farmers, land seekers, but we really try to advocate for you guys. I mean, our main goal is to help farmers find land. So we sort of work as a go-between, but most of our other services are geared towards beginning farmers and ranchers as opposed to landowners. The one thing we do help landowners with and retiring farmers is we do some succession work, so farm succession work if they're trying to pass it down to a family member or not a family member, we can help them with that. But most of our services are geared towards helping people like you. So anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on the land stuff, but that just kind of gives you how to kind of enter our land listings. And then what will happen is you'll search for a few land listings that you're interested in. You'll email me. I'll ask you to write a brief letter of introduction about yourself, about what you're looking for. I'll send that to the landowners, and then you either contact them directly or I kind of work as the contact. But ultimately, I want to match you up with people and get you out to the farm and looking at it and see if it's a good match for you, and then help you with leases and business planning and financing. So, in a nutshell, that's what we do. So I'm just going to give you two examples of farms that we gave loans to, and then I think I'll move on to pass it on to the next person. There is, and I'm going to read this. Sorry, I apologize, but this is all kind of new information to me as well. So there's Shooting Star Farm, which is a CSA in Fairfield. They've been growing for 4 years, not on their land, but they had experience on other farms and did the UC Santa Cruz apprenticeship program. It's a couple. And they are a typical direct market CSA. I think they serve, how big is their CSA? 200 plus members, 28-week CSA, and they do farmers markets, and they have a diversified vegetable operation on 15 acres. And some of the things, so they came to FarmLink, they had FSA direct loans for a couple of years, and they were current on paying those back, but they wanted to move more into traditional financing. And I don't know how much you know about FSA loans, but really they kind of advertise themselves as the last shop, last resort. Yeah, exactly. And we can talk more about that. So anyway, so this was kind of like the next step after FSA, and actually they got an FSA guaranteed loan from FarmLink. So we work closely with FSA, and the guaranteed loan just means that the FSA guarantees if there was a 95% loss of principal or interest, the FSA would guarantee that. Okay, great. I've been practicing.
There you go.
So they kind of came to us with some loan experience, and they, like I said, they had paid them off on time for a couple of years, but they had a need of $60,000. And this would cover the cost of prepping the land, seeds and plants, labor, etc. during the winter primarily. So when they were sort of having a lower cash flow because their markets and TSA had tapered off. So this is what they were looking for. Banks, traditional banks might not have been ready to lend to them because they didn't have enough of a track record yet, and they're also a really small farm. So we're kind of like an intermediary between FSA and a traditional bank. So we gave them a $60,000 operating loan on an annual basis and helped them with their cash flow. So that's one example. Another example, a woman, Berta Magana, and I think it's Magana Farms. She's in the Central Valley. She had a lot of previous, like 30 plus years farming experience with her family. She worked on her family's farms, one of which was very successful, I think mainly strawberry farm down in the Central Valley. And she decided to go out on her own. She leased 7 acres. She planted diversified vegetables and berries, and she was mainly selling to a local distributor focused on organic produce, and that is Alba Organics. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're kind of a farm incubator program, and they have a distribution arm that works closely with the farms that they've helped along. So she had a clear market. What she didn't have was credit. It was like limited or no credit. And she didn't speak English as a first language. That was the other thing. So, you know, if she went to a traditional bank, they might not have given her the time of day, but we were able to kind of work with her on a more individual basis, really talk to her about her particular farming experience. Both of these people had, you know, solid business plans. That's another kind of key ingredient. But, you know, we looked at her experience, we looked at the support that she would have from her family, kind of the advising that she would get from them, and the strong sales outlet that she had. She had this kind of built-in distribution arm, and she was able to get a $10,000 loan from us to plant strawberries for her first season. So those are just a couple examples of, you know, not totally traditional farms. I hope that gives you somewhat of an idea. And